Good morning. What is great, good, and real, and God bless. It's Saturday. It's Raw for Epoch 2, day 151. And I had a lovely script to go over with you. But I had this massive, overwhelming experience this morning. And so I thought I would just talk this out and see where it goes. 151 days in, I thought the Saturdays were significant because we would reflect a lot on Saturdays. We've sort of lost that essence as we've gotten into formalities. But I just had a massive inflection and reflection this morning around God that made me uncomfortable in this way. Without a doubt, I believe significantly and deeply in God, my version of God. I don't know that it aligns with any specific scripture, any specific teaching, anything of specificity in general. But I do, with great clarity and conviction, without any hesitation, believe that God is for all, God is all, and God is the infinite. And in that way, I hesitate in my promotion and authorship of prioritizing God for all. I pause for fear of misrepresenting. I think there's that reality. I pause for fear of not providing enough justice, not being able to reflect enough faith, not being the model sort of figure for a lot of what God traditionally means, and even what God might mean today, which I still struggle with. I try to wrap my processes around what does it mean for us culturally when we talk God. But I think of great significance, fear, as we talk about here regularly, is the greatest motivating factor. It can absolutely inspire us to freeze, and it can certainly inspire us to elevate ourselves. And that's a lot of what I wanted to wrap today's reflection around. That if you do have a sense of belief, if you are hit with a level of faith, if somehow you feel like you've downloaded a message that you can see, that applies to you, that it is divine in nature and it is sacred to you, and you should do whatever you can to capitalize on it for you. Effectively, a lot of what I journaled this morning was the concept of ensuring we are our most profitable selves. And truthfully, you should be profiting as yourself, for yourself, through yourself, which ultimately, again, leads me towards God, because how could that not be profitable? Faith, honor, loyalty, we talk about that regularly. I think it instills a level of discipline around self-love. I think it installs a level of discipline around your own self-evolution and the maturation that's afforded you through God, whether it's emotionally, psychologically, physically, etc. But clearly, I would surmise at least that continuing to go through this life experience and trying to become self-profitable, and that I provide significant, and extensive value to my life. That we all, there isn't anyone who's excluded. We all have that possibility. And we all have the ability to determine our level of profitability, particularly as we've exploded in the information age and technology has done what it's done to remove blocks, barriers, and barricades that preceded us and probably limited our generations. And when I consider generationally where I'm from, what I've been exposed to, and when I consider what I now see other generations having expressed as far as difficulties, trials, traumas, tribulations, etc., I think the greatest disservice we can continue to do to ourselves, which then has implications for our generations, whether it's the most intimate that we see, our own family or the people around us that provide community and the possibility for us to continue to be profitable, is that if we just continue to ignore the message, if we continue to ignore what I believe is God in all of us, then we will continue to mitigate and limit our experience and the spiritual experience, the profitability of God residing in us all and coming out through us in the greatest light. So that's a lot of where I was at today. That possibility, that reality, that fear of understanding what it could mean, what it implies, and what the requirements now are. If you do find yourself in an instance where you've really gathered yourself up for momentum towards a new version of yourself, have you hit a wall? Are you still at the starting point? Have you made some wins and now are sort of absorbing some losses? If you haven't even considered it, the worst thing you could do is not continue to profit off it in a way that you continue to push yourself forward some way, somehow. And that's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. More prayer, more meditation, more working out, more long walks, more journaling. All these things are powerful tools that afford us the possibilities of continuing to what I believe align with God as our source and become what we talk about here, which is remembrance and reflections of what we already foresee. It's just a matter of continuing to be, right? All for the sake of why not? For all we know, this is our only shot. This is our only opportunity. All those cliches that if you really allow yourself to process emotionally can be massively inspiring to do something, anything, everything. I just think we've reached a massive societal inflection point that I'm probably late on. I think we've certainly exploded past it, where there's endless possibilities, endless possibilities that were never before available to us, that can afford us a certain type of unity and collectiveness and togetherness that is God in his greatest form. And the lack of profit that I continue to refer to is going to be that emotionally, you have an experience of life that is more godless, if you would, that is less fruitful, less productive, less worth living than it otherwise would be if you could take a moment to reflect on where you're at, where you've come from, and where you could possibly go. I think that's it for today. I have a lot to consider. There's a series I want to put together around this that is weighing heavy on me. And I think it's important for myself to do it the way that I hope, if you feel like there's something important for you to do for yourself, that you do it. That's the first person that has to be important and significant for yourself. And when you figure that out for yourself, everything that makes you you will naturally explode because it's always bigger than you. And the only way to identify you is to understand what's in and around you that makes you you. Your collective mind, body, and spirit, your relationship to source, creator, God, the infinite, and then the lovely relationships that are around you, however expansive, however small, however big. So as always, own it or be owned by it. You either run the system or the system runs you. God is there. God is for all. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.